to start off by talking about the research that went into designing the sets. If you could just start off with that, please.
I mean, there's so many sets. It was 110. So we basically, we're covering over 10 years. The compound was the first thing to get underway because we had to start building that like right away. We had 10 weeks to build it. So there's quite a lot of intel on the internet about what it looked like. There's photographs. You can scale quite easily once you see somebody standing beside it. We modeled that up in London at a company called Framestore. We had to engineer it basically to withstand, because we were going to fly real Blackhawks, do the full sequence for real, shoot live, every actor, Catherine, everybody's in the compound. The set was built 100% for real. Pure stone, steel, there's no wood, there's not a wild wall, it's a real building, 3 stories high, 380 feet long, and so it was like 2.5 times over engineered. Like it was 9-foot caissons underground. It really had to withstand the real, like a Blackhawk, 50 feet over top with everyone in it. Which you never do for a film. I don't actually know if it's ever been done for a film. Like it's not a set, it's a real, the compound we built for real. Every light switch worked. Everything in the place is a real it's a real house. And it's just a monster. We had all the animals there. It's just cinder block and plastered and cracked and chipped, and it looked spectacular. It looked amazing. For me, the biggest key was the contrast between the Islamabad MZ and Langley. That you really feel the people that are on the ground in these real places. It's not a great place. Pakistan's a great country, but the placement is a shit placement. Like you're in, this is not, it's not the best office. She wipes her finger. I don't know if you've seen the film. It's dirty. It's filthy. And it's not like, it had to contrast with this bright star of Langley, which is like perfect and clean and simple, and and it was nice to show that contrast. And also during the film, it takes place over so many years. You just slowly see her office, change. Monitors change, technology changes, and it grows with us. Because I only had 3 months prep to do this whole film.
Really?
I was hired November 25th, and we started shooting February 28th. So I had 3 months in Jordan, in India, and London to do a 60 to 7-day shoot. And it's all based on mostly internet. A lot of it's from script. Mark is an amazing source for intel. Like he really knows a lot. Like I pick his brain, and Catherine, like they'd met and talked to everyone that they could, and I literally just every day would just pick their brains. I don't know, it's like you won forever.
Could you talk about, was there a great deal of location shooting, shooting on in real places, or was it mostly sets that were built?
I mean, basically when we did India, we did all the exteriors for Pakistan and India. First we started in Jordan, but nothing really worked scale-wise. Everything was too small. And we wanted something a little older, and we found this engineering school, and we were all over the place, all over the whole school. Like one room was here, one room was here, here's the hallway. We built the full entrance security bay. That we had to build all that. And then we went to Jordan, we built all the military bases. They're all built. We were secure being 25 kilometers from Iraq to do all those sets there. So we built all of Camp Chapman and the forward operating base and Bagram. And then we built the compound. And then we went to London and we did all Langley. I found one amazing building where we did all the Langley sets. And then we went to Shepperton and we built the Pred Bay, which is the final big, huge Pred Bay. The nice thing was, it was like our whole goal in this whole film was to make it feel really like real. Like every screen in that film, in that Pred Bay, is real.
Can you talk a bit about the difficulties of shooting in such an exotic location, being so far away from Hollywood and all of your resources here?
I mean, it's funny because I did, before this, I've done commercials. I've shot in like 35 countries, so I'm used to. I've shot in China, everywhere in the middle. I've shot in Africa and South America, and I was quite used to working in environments where people don't speak the language. I brought a crew of 22 from London, which is not a lot for a movie of this size. I had an amazing supervising art director who'd done Munich and Hugo, and the decorator. She was from Black Hawk Down. She was the buyer, so people were quite used to already working in foreign locations. Everyone had to be from the same page. Like, we're going to go to Jordan where they have nothing. They don't have wood. We had to ship plywood. We had to ship literally every pencil, paper like this. You can't buy it there. You can't get anything there.
Really?
That's American looking. So all the CIA, anything that was Islamabad, we had to either go to India, had to go to Jordan. They don't know how to build with any wood in Jordan. We built the whole Bagram set. I don't know if you remember, there's the cage.
Yes.
And that whole wood set, we just ship all that stuff to Jordan. They don't have plywood. They have no wood. They don't know how to use a hammer and a nail. Like
Really?
all the builders there, when you built the compound, it was amazing because they know how to build with steel and cinder blocks. But no, it's hard. I mean, it's mostly Egyptian labor, and they don't work on films.
Mhm.
You know, India was a little different. I had a great crew in India. India's like makes more films than the world combined. So my crew in India was fantastic. We only had 3 weeks to prep it. We came in, had an amazing crew that worked with my crew. We all flew in together, and we just went hardcore for 3 weeks to get the embassy ready, and then do all the exteriors while we were building, the compound back in Jordan and all the military bases.
Mhm.
All the military stuff, we kind of thought we would find more when we got there, but I sent a buyer to Kuwait. We looked all around everywhere. We ended up having to ship almost all of it from America. It came from Tennessee. All the tents, everything had to be shipped in. There was less there than we expected to find. We kind of expected to even find more, in Jordan, but there was really nothing left.
And how is it working with Catherine Bigelow? What does she give you as a director that helps you along with this?
I mean, the best thing, Catherine has this great energy. Like we met and we were just like, I'd read it, and within like 10 minutes we just clicked. Like we both had the same vibe and same energy, but turning on a dime. She loves to spin on a dime. I love, like, if it's not right, you change it. Even if it's at that moment, it's like you instantly always recognize that it's the right, no matter what it is, always do the right thing. It was really, she's quite inspiring because she's a champion. Like she gets in there and she's like, go, 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 go. And I have that high octane energy to go with her. And
Right.
I mean, we had a blast. And it was really, the goal was, when I met her, was that we were going to make a film that we didn't notice the art direction. It had to be visually spectacular. It's a film, exotic looking, amazing, but nothing like fantastical about it that really took you out of it being, a real. It feels like a real documentary. You know what I mean?
Right,
like
yeah.
as opposed to like the Bourne movies, but it doesn't have that feel to it. Like
Mhm.
where you feel like you're looking at some fantastic sets that are, some movies are all about.
Mhm.
They're really great sets, but I'm not looking at them.
Do you find that's harder to do, trying to do, I guess, invisible art direction, which you wouldn't necessarily notice, as opposed to doing lavish
Yeah,
sets?
naturalism's like so hard. It's so hard. It's not just hard for me it's hard because a lot of crews want to everyone wants to put their own best into it and be recognized, and that's really hard to let everyone let go. It's like it's not about any of us. It's about this film because it's easy to do than thousands of stylish, spectacular sets, and it's really hard to keep everyone in tone and in check that the film's the important part.
Do you find that's a better way to work when you have no money and no time? Do you feel that sparks creativity, or does it limit creativity?
I mean, I think for a film like this, it's a necessity.
Mhm.
Trust your instincts. Like there was no time to let's all sit down and talk about it. It was instincts. I like that tile. I like this. I want to do this. I want to do this. That was for everyone. The editors, the cinematographer, Greg. Like it was amazing. Like it was always walking in. It was like trust your instincts because there's no time to communicate about it. And I think that's what helps make this film great. I don't know. I wouldn't say every film should be like that.
Mhm.
It's just this film works. It worked for this film absolutely.
Right. Can you talk about the artistic feel of the sets? As I was watching the film, I noticed a lot of, kind of muted colors.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it was interesting because the thing about Pakistan that I love in the air is there's like, and even India, is there's a color to the air.
Right.
To when you're outside, and like I love that the curtains. We kind of did the same, and all the curtains would have this bit of an orange. There's something really magical about India that's just because I think it's just there's so much dust particle in the
Right.
air, and the sun's always a little bit low, so it has this nice tone to it, and it just kind of made sense naturally to do that. And also because then you go to Langley later, where it's not like that. It's cold. It's very different. It's calculated. The other one's just like there's a real beauty and exotic nature to it, like the Pinjore Gardens when you see where Faraj is captured, in that long garden. It's just spectacular, and the light's always low, and it was just sort of, I would say, going through the warms to getting colder, and then obviously into just night,
Right.
which is the end of the movie.
Did you think of a progression of a color scheme as you were mapping out as you were looking at the scripts and deciding on the sets?
Yeah, I mean it's in some ways it's weird because there's a timeline.
Right.
It's a little bit more difficult to do that, but mostly it was really just sticking with, which country am I in, and then trying to differentiate it that way. Once you go to the desert, you're in the desert. With when it comes to the military, the military is the military. It's
Right.
just making sure that it was just American looking was the goal. Like, this is the right color of tent, this is the right color vehicle. So that kind of dictates itself anyways.
Mhm.
It was really just the contrast between Islamabad and the embassy, the two embassies.
Right.
Interior wise, you know, there's a lot of photographs based on what it looks like. There's just a little bit of enhancement that each room is slightly different enough that there's so many seals in there.
Mhm.
So we have four cameras everywhere. Is that every room's just a little bit different looking, so you never get lost. Like where I'm like when you cut back, oh, they're in that room. I remember that room. If they were all this, you know, one color beige, you wouldn't know which floor you're on. And that was a key, especially shooting night vision. You know, so we did a lot of tests on just like how dark is it going to be. Like all the ceilings were with LEDs, so we would trim them down, and just try to see how much we really could notice that we were in a different place. And then with the night vision, you don't see any color, so you need like some rooms have a dado line, so there's two colors.
Mhm.
It's always like trying to figure out so you always could know where you are.
Right.
You never get lost. It's
Right.
difficult.
Well, thank you so much.
No problem.
It's a pleasure speaking
Yeah, cheers.
with you.
Thanks very much.
Congratulations on the film.
No, thanks very much.